Hi everybody, welcome back to Sparks Fire and Baling Wire. Finally got a little bit of time this morning, so I'm going to try and get these valves set on this tractor and get the valve cover put on, be one step closer to running. Now to start out so I don't confuse myself, because I'm going to be working mainly on the other side of the engine. This tractor is a 4-cylinder, but you'll notice there's only 6 ports here. Well, this is exhaust, that's exhaust, that's exhaust, and that's exhaust. This is an intake port that is split. So these two are intake valves. So I'm going to mark them up here with an I. And right here is the other intake port, which will feed these two valves, which you can't see because the thermostat housing is in the way. But I'll mark those with an I too. And I'll mark that, and that with an E, so I make sure I get my intake and exhaust correct. Now to do this job, all you need is a set of feeler gauges, a 9/16 wrench for the jam nut, and a screwdriver to adjust the valve. There's several different ways to do this. I'm not even going to get into all those. I'm going to show you the way I like to do it. To me, it's the most accurate. It takes a little longer, but it works better. The way I do it is, you turn the engine, when you see the intake valve start to open, that's when you can adjust the exhaust valve. Likewise, when you're turning the engine, when the exhaust valve starts to close, that's when you adjust the intake valve. That guarantees that you're on the bottom of the cam lobe every time. And it takes longer. They say you can turn the engine such and such a way and adjust this valve, that valve, that valve, and that valve, and then turn it so much. But I like to do it this way. It's more accurate, but it takes longer. Yeah, there I turn the engine. You've seen the intake valve just starting to open. So that means I can adjust that exhaust valve. From what I read online, they always recommend setting these hot at 12 thousandths. Since this engine hasn't even ran yet, it's not even close to it. I was reading on the online forums and everybody recommended a cold setting of 14 thousandths, so that's what I'm going to try. Once this engine's broke in and run a while, I'm probably going to have to reset them anyway, but this will be my initial setting. So I'll tighten this down until it just starts to drag in there. That feels good there. I'll hold it in place while I tighten down that jam nut and recheck it. There, I've got some resistance on it, so I'll call that one good. Now I'll turn the engine till the exhaust valve fully opens, and then when it just starts to close, I'll adjust this intake. Okay, there's the exhaust valve opening. There, it just started to close. So now I can adjust that intake. Okay, I've got cylinder number 1 done. We'll move on down the line. Okay, those are all set. Even though it took me longer, in real time that only took me about 5 minutes to do all these. So now I'm ready to put the valve cover on. I'm not going to be using any kind of gasket sealer. on the valve cover gasket because this is going to be coming off again. So after it runs, I'll have to retorque all the head bolts, double check the valve clearance. Four little rubber seals go over each one of these studs. There's a set of flat washers and then the nut. I'll get these on there and get them tightened down. And that'll button that up for now. You're ready for the manifold next. I'm going to put these new studs in the head. I ordered new ones because back when I tore this thing apart, I think I broke all but one or two of them. And these use a brass nut. They got little flats on them where you put a wrench on them to tighten them in, so I'll get them started here. Then I'll get them all tightened down, and we'll be ready for the manifold to go on. Yeah, after doing a little test fitting, these studs do not get screwed all the way in. They need to stick out 4 inches. This is what I have them all at. Now the manifold's ready to go on. I got the gaskets here ready to go for it. Hopefully I can get it up on there without these falling back off. If they do, I might have to put a little dab of gasket sealer on there to hold them. Yeah, that's how that works. Okay, take 2. Got all the gaskets in place, ready to put the manifold on. Okay, looks like everything's in place there. Get all the nuts on, get it torqued down, be ready to go. Next, ready to put on the carburetor. This is the Marvel Shebler model on this tractor. Unfortunately, I didn't video rebuilding it because it's been sitting on the shelf for rebuilt for about 2 years before I even dreamt of starting a YouTube channel. Okay, the carburetor's on. I need the tube from the carburetor to the air cleaner, fuel line, choke and throttle linkage. Getting pretty close. I debated for a long time on what color to paint this manifold. I looked at hundreds of pictures, everything I could find pretty much. I debated going like with a high temperature black or silver paint. I ultimately decided no matter what I put on it, it's going to burn off the exhaust anyway. So I just went ahead and painted it orange. I'm pretty sure that's what it was supposed to be from the factory. So over time, all this will probably burn off, but this should stay orange down here. Time will tell, I guess. Well, it looks like I gotta take the carburetor back off. This linkage rod goes from the throttle back to the governor, which is right here. There is no way to get that on with the carburetor on the manifold. So I'll take the carburetor back off, attach this, then put the carburetor back on, get that hooked up. What are you doing? What?
What are you doing here?
I'm making a YouTube video. What are you doing?
Why are you making a YouTube video?
So people can watch what I'm doing.
Okay.
You gonna tell everybody who you are?
James.
James.
Who's your son?
And who are you?
Lucky.
Lukey.
Yeah.
Want to get up on the tractor?
Make a YouTube video. Hi, I'm Lucky. Listen, you pull this still to my mouth.
Well, now that the help's arrived, I'm going to end this video here. Catch you next time.